Tougher Together Tuesday. And a quote is always good, so here's one for you. I'm for truth no matter who tells it. I'm for justice no matter who it is for or against. Malcolm X. And my topic on tonight is don't trust the system. Alright, don't forget to like, share, leave a comment on my video. And depending on where you're watching it from, go ahead and subscribe. And then also too, check out my online store. You may find something that you want to buy. But enough of all of that. Let's get to it. So it's very important that we don't actually believe a lot of the stuff that sometimes the media actually shows us or what politicians are actually saying. Mostly what politicians are actually saying. Because oftentimes they would let us to think or to believe that they actually don't like each other, that they don't get along, and that they basically have to stop certain things or certain people so that things can actually get better. But in actuality, they use a lot of these things just to make narratives that aren't actually true and to store up trouble or to have people blinded and looking the other way while they are moving and doing other things, or just basically making money with each other and basically doing things that have things to do with money and how money is actually being used and being processed. Case in point, if you go back to earlier this year with the big trial on P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Diddy, whatever you want to call him, Sean Combs. If you look at that whole thing and the actual breakdown to it, and if you go back to what he was saying before he actually got locked up, he talked about a lot as far as having issues with the liquor brands that he was actually working with. And when they were having issues about how he was being promoted versus other people, then there was an issue as far as him and what he does behind closed doors. When in actuality, a lot of the same people do the same things behind closed doors. But because he was trying to sue this brand for how they were using him and not actually helping out him to make more money with his liquor brand that he was promoting, this is what caused him to actually be in court and going through all these issues and problems. Now, they would definitely cover it up and say that it was something else, but in actuality, you would definitely see not until he starts speaking out on the issues that he was having with his brand of liquor, then this is when all this stuff start coming out about him. Now, like I said before, I believe that they've known these things all along, but it was because he was going after more money. Then also too, if you look at the situation that was recently just happened with Disney and Jimmy Kimmel, which allegedly they're saying that, you know, his show is going to come back on and things are going to go back kind of how they were. Now, they got rid of him and let him go, and now supposedly they're bringing him back. And this is because a lot of people actually stopped subscribing to Disney Plus and other Disney platforms and other Disney things. So once the money started to get messed up, they said, oh, hold up, wait a minute. We have to go back and we have to redo this thing. So this is how you see where money actually moves things and make people do certain things. And if you come after certain people about their actual money and what they actually have, then it may lead for issues for you. Now another thing, and you know, people are gonna go back and forth with this. Not a real supporter of Democrats or Republican. I think they both do us a lot of harm, and they just basically have us choosing between two sides. Now, something that we definitely have to question is, why is it always only these two parties? Meaning that there's other people who actually run for president, other parties, and other people outside of both of these parties. But in actuality, any winner that's going to come out of the election is going to come from a Democrat or a Republican. So oftentimes people will say that they already predict or know who's going to actually win, and they just kind of set things up for us to have an election that's really not an election. The thing that I would definitely question about that, and what we should is too, is why does it always have to be a Democrat or a Republican? So it's kind of like flipping a coin. You know, you have heads and you have tails. So you know which one of those is going to actually come up. It will never be anything else because there's only heads and there's only tails. But one of the things too that you can look at, especially with the Republicans that are in office right now, is a lot of the things that they have been saying from the get-go, even at the start of this year as well, when they were talking about DUI. And they were saying that this was the cause of that plane crash. And then it's been proven that this was not actually the cause of the actual plane crash. But the question is, why were they actually telling us that? Well, the real reason why they were telling us that is because they're trying to get rid of all of these things. And the things that you have to be asking yourself is, why are they trying to get rid of a lot of these things? And then the reason why they're trying to get rid of a lot of these things, because has been a key thing that has helped a whole lot of people out. And what I mean by that is not just black people. People will often think that, hey, this helps out black people. But no, it actually helps out women, and it actually helps out anybody else who is actually maybe Asian, Latino, or any other ethnicity that may not actually be white. Now, the question that a lot of people who are white may have, and they may say, and then this is why you seen somebody was going saying, hey, DEI is actually bad. In actuality, it's not, because when it wasn't in place, then a lot of these people weren't able to get jobs that they would normally be qualified to actually get. So this is why you have a lot of these things in place, is because oftentimes people basically who were white, they will only hire those who were actually white to actually have upper or higher jobs, and other people who were not actually able to actually get these jobs. So yes, it would be a good thing if it was just a fair thing and everybody basically had the same equal opportunity to actually go after jobs. But in actuality, because it was not fair, this is why this was actually put in place. And the reason why they want this out of place, so that they can go back to doing what used to be done in the past, and just saying, hey, you know, basically this other person won out the job because they were actually better than you or better qualified. You as a person working aren't able to actually see that, and then you as a person applying for a school or any type of other thing, you're not able to see who is actually qualified and who is not actually qualified, and if you're more qualified than someone else, because they can just go ahead and pick who they want to actually pick. Or if you want a better example of that, you can look at the Rudy rule in the NFL. Now, they interview these guys for jobs who aren't actually white, but oftentimes a lot of these people don't actually get the job. So it's just like you're going to a job, you're getting interviewed, you're getting the interview, but you're never actually getting the job. And so this is why DUI is put in place. But it's also another thing that they want to stop, and that's other people of other races actually coming together. Now, coming together, and definitely I call this Tough Together Tuesdays. So, coming together is the thing that is the actual big fear out there, is because when people actually start to come together and start to put their money together with each other, they can actually do a whole lot of things. And so this is why you keep on seeing that the country and the politicians continue to try to divide us against each other. So this is why you see certain situations, like you see the whole thing with ISIS, and they're going out and they're collecting and separating people from their families, and they're deporting people. Now they will say, hey, this is one of those things where there's too many immigrants getting let into our country, and they're taking over the country and things like that. They're causing all these issues and stuff like that. Now, two things can definitely be true. There can be some who are troublemakers. There can be some that are doing trouble, but that doesn't mean that they actually all are, and that there aren't some good actual citizens that are coming over, or people who are planning to be citizens at some point in time. But two, at the same point, everyone who is not a Native American is actually an immigrant in the United States. They had to be an immigrant at some point in some time. So this is like basically saying, hey, this is our country, and all these people are immigrants. There were some of us who are melanin like myself who family members were probably dragged over here into slavery. But then outside of that, if they're not Native American, everybody that came over was an actual immigrant. I mean, if that wasn't the case, there would be no celebration on 4th of July for us to celebrate. But with that being said, all of this in the future, what is being predicted is that the landscape of America would actually change, and that whites won't be the most dominating race, and that all the other races combined together will start to actually outnumber them. And so it's because of that actually happening, and that is predicted to happen in the future, that is causing them to make up all these scrambles and say, hey, we got to do all these things before things start getting out of control, and we won't have the power that we once used to have. Now, this thought process, this is allegedly, remember? Allegedly is the thought process to all of these things actually happening, and this is why they're trying to put a stop to all these things. And then also too, if you look at the whole situation with Beyonce and her being with Donald Trump's daughter, her and Jay-Z and Donald Trump's son-in-law, now with them all coming together and being together, they're coming together for money reasons, and if we start actually doing the same thing and come together for money reason, meaning you get together with your family members, your loved ones, or people who are close to you, and you start saying, hey, we're going to do something else with our money, and we're not going to promote all these things that are bad for us, or promote all these people who aren't actually for us, then we can start making changes, because it's going to hurt those people's pockets who we pay all this money into their type of things. If we start doing things like that, it's going to change how they're actually making their money. So this is the reason why they want to keep us divided. Because if we're divided, then we can't build together. And that's why you see the rich continue to stay and work together and let each other know, hey, these are the next moves or things that you need to actually do to keep your money up. And while they do that with each other, they keep the money with themselves. Now, if we as people start actually moving together and saying, hey, we're not going to do this and do that, and we're going to spend our money in different ways, then we would actually start making changes, and things will start changing in the world. And this is why they want to keep us apart, so that we don't put our money together and start making changes. So this is why they don't want us together. Tougher Together Tuesday. All right, so it's very important, and I believe I said this. You can go back to some of my videos before the president election, that as the United States, we actually start coming together and not being so divided. If we're divided between each other and not actually come together, meaning that all different type of races being able to work with each other and do things together, then this would definitely hurt things for us as an actual country. So that's why it's important that we all actually get along and be able to actually work with each other. But there are definitely some people, and just mostly people who are rich and in power, who don't want to actually see that, or they want to let only a certain amount of people kind of in to actually be on the same level that they are. But for all of us who are possibly on the bottom trying to come up, it's very important that we focus on being together with other people who are like-minded like ourselves, and then building with them, because trying to go against the system by yourself just ain't gonna work. So that's why I always say two are better than one if two function as one. So stay together.